Afternoon, folks. Boatbrew here, and continuing the series of the RPTQ preparation test, and it's again modern. On the left side of your screen, that's monogreen ElfBall beatdown, the Ezuri version, and on the right, the Abzan company. Basically, without proper build, it's a negative matchup for the company deck. Unless I get a fast combo, but if I cannot, then I'm just getting beaten the shit out of me very quickly. So basically it's all about speed and tempo, and the matchup definitely becomes, I think, better after Cyborg, because you get all the paths and decays and stuff like that. I think Hunter from main deck is fine, but it's just a one-off. But of course you can find it from a courier company, but then again, if your opponent just flips multiple Ezuris or Arc Druids, then the race is still pretty crazy. Then I'm thinking of building the Elf deck too, because, well, it doesn't have any combos in it, but it's quite consistent, I would say, and punishes slow draws. And because of the most common white splash for the deck, post Cybert you can actually, have more or less efficient answers against unfair decks and combos and throughout the spectrum of archetypes, mid-range, control, whatever, aggro. So you definitely don't mind playing with Bells against aggro. Also does the Abzan deck for sure. But yeah, it's the mid-range decks that it struggles with, sometimes control. Okay, the Elves deck is actually mulliganing, I'm not sure, to 6 or to 5. We're gonna be seeing that in a bit. So yeah, I don't have anything against the Singleton Nixus in the Elves deck, because you do spam the board pretty heavily, and then with just one Nixus activation you can actually cast a pretty sizable chord, or just have buttload of mana to activate Ezuri maybe like twice, or at least once. The deck has many 1-drops, so I think he actually mulliganed to 5 that game. Perhaps there is a chance. And that's a Nettle Sentinel over there, just drawing for the turn. I kept my 7 though, but no turn 1 mana dork, I think, or was there? Oh, I'm fetching anyway, perhaps just to save up time. Yeah, there is no 1 mana dork, just tapped Temple Garden, and I received 2 more damage, so I'm down to 17. And that's lane number 2 for him. It's definitely not a very common matchup, but it's a deck that I haven't played all that much against, so didn't mind playing this matchup. It also resembles the nature of aggressive matchups a little bit, so it's alright. So Forest and the Wallaford, but Mono Green already has Heritage Druids and Llanowar in play, so he can start actually generating huge chunks of mana. He could attack here just to tease, because he's definitely gonna untap the Sentinel, but he might rather not attack so that he can now tap these 3 for free mana and then play something else and tap it, and maybe spam the board, etc. There are some draws that could help that. It seems like he doesn't. He's just attacking with those 2. I obviously blocked the Sentinel. I just fell down to 16, so he's not really drawing much here just yet. Now that I think about it, freelance plus landowner definitely signifies a company. And I could just also play land and pass so that I could respond with my own company. And when he's attacking, see where that is going. I guess I just lacked that land number 4, and that's quite unfortunate, I suppose. But I think I do have my own company in hand, but just didn't have that 4th mana for it. So he casts his company on the turn. Gets an Ezuri. That's pretty painful. And gets a land aware, so yeah, he could have a pretty aggressive Ezuri turn up next. And I hit a pretty damn slow draw. So this matchup is definitely winnable game 1. And it definitely becomes better post sideboard, but it could be rough. And post sideboard elves could have the path to exile, so they could have their own interaction, but they don't have that much of it. I don't think they normally play Rest in Peace, though they could. Because unlike Cage, Rest in Peace doesn't actually fizzle them, so it's an option. And I think up until Dredge is actually gonna calm down, then Now's deck should be playing Rest in Peace in the sideboard. So he's attacking with a few guys, and I guess he tapped the actual mana dorks for the ability. So Sentinel is coming for 5. So this is like 14 total damage. Yeah, I could be blocking here, but they're all trample, so I don't get much by blocking, but by leaving Witness up there, I could, you know, cord something better than I otherwise would be able to. But I think I'm at very low life total at this point. It could be that if I take it all in, I just fall down to 1 and cannot crack a fetch land or something like this. So the point is that maybe he's kind of forced to block with the Witness just to save 1 point of damage so that I can fetch and still survive, even though I really don't want to. But you never know. I think at most of the times in most of the games, you're gonna have in hand or in play at least 1 copy of the combo, and then normally after a while you're gonna have enough mana to cast a company, and then that company can actually lead to a combo out. So until the very last moment, it's pretty much a bad idea to, you know, give up. So here I'm going for court for 1 off of the forests to convoke uses and the actual mana from the wall. But I can't really afford to, you know, block and sacrifice because of trample, and this means I'm unlikely getting that extra scry. But yeah, 1 combo piece in, I get to shuffle my deck, and yeah, just company off the top into things similar, and that's it. But it's not like you're always getting there like this. So this is the dream scenario. But yeah, pretty slow hand, no mana dorks. Very unexciting turn 3 for me, for example. But yeah, his draws were also pretty darn fast, but this is how the matchup goes. It's really about the speed. You see me having a Fin Hunter in hand, and that would have been good if not being forced to actually take forests for Corza callings and stuff like that. And yeah, plus without Manadorix, Fin Hunter is just hard to cast timely. So I do survive this attack for sure, and I choose just to sacrifice the Witness to Scry. I think, no, I didn't Scry, yeah, I needed that, I guess, extra life for the fetch land that I guess I already had in hand, or just a land or something. But yeah, as I remember, it was about the fetch land. I think at this point I'm at 2 or something like this. So I'm showing him on the fence and kitchen things, but I'm lacking land number 5. If I would have, top decked it, that would be it. So I was just lacking one white. But I think I drew the wrong fetch land or something like that. Meaning that I would have to, shock myself to get a white, and I couldn't do that. So I was pretty damn close. I just needed to draw Plains or Hiv, I think, so that I can get that white land. Casting Company, just see what happens. It's still realistic. In response to Company or whatever, eating the wall so that I can try to dig deeper. But yeah, it's realistic, but because I already have 2 pieces in hand. And yeah, this would have knocked me a Finks and the Seer, but it doesn't make up for the full set. A bit unlucky draws, but yeah, this is how matchup goes. Either I stumble a little bit or not. Else I would be very unlikely to stumble, because they have a lot of kind of digging and pro draw kind of effects between companies, chords, same as we do, same numbers. They also have visionaries, and then what was it? He can start early aggression very quickly, indeed, and basically each turn I wouldn't be trading or blocking. It would make a victory for him more and more likely, basically. Unless I really use my life as a resource, like in this game, and fall down to 1 or 2 and hit it when he's tapped out. Basically, when they're monogreen, it's pretty hard for them to win game 1 or after sideboard, because they would lack a lot of very good white cards from the sideboard. Woos could be still annoying, but because of all the dredge hate, I think it's unwise to not run at least in the sideboard the duo of Spike Feeder plus Archangel. Just that game 1 you only have Fin Hunter, so I really like having that backup combo, even main deck. Even though Dredge is played relatively a lot, but I don't think I like more than 1 free mana on Offensa in the deck. Even though they could have Lightning Axe or stuff like that for it, but you could bring it back, and it's all about just buying time in this matchup for this deck, I mean Dredge matchup. So I hit a Noble turn 1, which was nice. Let's say it this way. And yeah, this hand is just I think, much better, sort of, in terms of timing. Although I'm not sure, it just looked like that. So playing land number 2, that's a canopy. Just thinking what is best to do here. I do like having a couple of canopies in the deck, even though burn is still a deck and stuff like this. I think 3 is way too much, and you do want at least 1, so somewhere between 1 and 2. Depends on your meta game. If your meta is a lot of red decks, then you probably should limit it by 1 copy. That is Archdruid, I think. Or is it a Twilight? I mean, the Dwine and whatever that makes a token. But I think it's Archdruid that I would love to get rid of. I didn't have a turn 3 play, so yeah, I take my words back about this being a better or faster hand. It's not really faster, but I couldn't resist. I had lands, I had a mana drake, I had some big spells to dig. He could cast his own company or court for Ezuri or something here, if he really wants to. I actually kind of think that with just a bunch of green fetches, it could be interesting to have a minor blue splash for, I don't know, some spell pierces and dispels and stuff like this, or negates. Because the stuff that really matter for this green deck is just combos or mass removals from control and midrange, so it could work, I think. Although most of the time you just see 1 or 2 fetchable black sources or an elf dual land, and just having a couple of those shamans of the pack for an extra burst when you can't actually attack really, when you just need to do those final few damage. So I'm trying to end of turn company. He just passed the turn, so he has his own, I think. And I guess he didn't want to attack with any of that into my potential kitchen things, or something bigger maybe. I hit another noble and scavenging this, which is actually not that amazing in this matchup. Though there is a chance that you still wanted in the deck after sideboarding, because both have a lot of creatures, and you don't mind this life gain even though it's kinda slow, but having a big blocker actually helps a lot. So he goes for his own company here, and basically if he hits enough elves, like here, 2 more, so he can tap Archdruid for 4 mana. That is absolutely nuts. I can try to respond to that, but I cannot because it's a mana ability. Even if I would want to, cast an Auri company of my own and maybe hope to hit, I don't know, Orge of Pontiff or something. But yeah, that's pretty nutty draw, having that company there. I don't know why I respond here with my own. I think the right call is to wait to see what he flips. Or maybe I wanted to, if I would flip like Pontiff plus Seer, then I would be actually able to, actually eat his board. Because if I can -2 his team before he flips any more Arc Droids, for example, then I can actually wipe his board. hits 2 more guys. Yeah, well, technically 3, so he can actually have more mana that turn with the Heritage Druid, but he chose not to. I guess nothing to cast at instant speed there. Cord needs a lot of mana. Basically has a buttload of mana from the Archdruid and the lands, so he might actually have enough to activate Ezuri twice, and I would be very, very sad. By the way, remember that Ezuri regenerates, I think, another elf, and not just any elf, so you can kill it, even if they have mana up. He's trying to calculate, does he actually have lethal here? I think he does if he can double activate it. Then he definitely has it. I have just 2 companies in my graveyard, and so does he. No creatures right here, so this is actually not that insane. But because I have malaria and things in play, I can actually block with things and still have it without a counter. Well, anyways, I have Township, but I don't think I have time for that. So he actually did attack, and we checked that no matter how I would have blocked, I think it was lethal anyway. So, yeah. And I actually had the Seer in hand, and I drew a fetch that would get me Black Shocklands, but I just didn't have that much life. But again, the deck just hit and not draw basically. It's just insane. Just turn 2 Archdruid into turn 3, I think, a double company. Yeah, that's just absurd. So, shouldn't get too angry, and I think if I didn't have this underperforming turn 2 there, then maybe I would have won it. This is actually a matchup where maybe Eidolon is quite okay to side in. Help, you get to block and stuff like this. So I'm not sure. Pure combo is kind of on decline right now, and even though Thoughtseize is not that bad on the play against Infect or Dredge, but there is less of just all kinds of ridiculous combos. On the other hand, I do like Thoughtseize against Tron, which is a bad matchup, and it's the one that is really tough for this deck. Everything else is definitely winnable or good, so varies from not favored to very good, but Tron is pretty bad, let's put it this way. So I don't know what I want to do with my sideboard with the company deck moving on. So I kinda like the Thoughtseize as a catch-em-all. I think I'll either stick with Thoughtseize or just eschew that hand disruption, those hand disruption slots altogether, maybe. Because then I can have a lot of bullets for all sorts of matchups, including big mana decks, for example, which are still doing quite fine right now, for instance. So yeah, I don't know. And then yeah, I did try the Mindbender Gideon kind of package in the sideboard. I'm not sure that I really like it. It's interesting, it's supposed to, you know, really be insane against Abzan mid-range where Jund or against blue control decks. But I don't know. It makes your company so much worse. That's the problem I have with that. Basically. It's just that if I go back to Scholars, what are they really good against? They're not. They're, in my experience, much worse against real combo decks, and then Tron or Valakut decks don't really care about it so much. Especially because now they have sideboard sudden shocks. That means I can turn respond with company for a spell scatter or something to protect it. That's the thing. So yeah, it's hard to say how to build your sideboard properly. I know that I definitely want to keep all the removals in the sideboard, but everything else is a question mark right now. I guess I'll have to see what will be dominant in the next few weeks and in the next few months. I wouldn't have to, play competitive modern for quite some time now after this RPTQ, because the regional PTQ for Nashville is standard. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be playing much more standard um, in December, I guess January and February. And that's the thing. And the problem is that even though I would have decent decks to play test with in standard, but I think Aver Revolt will be officially out just like end of January, so I will have, I think, just about a month to properly test the new format with the new set. So I don't know, maybe I will just have fun with Modern more, or Legacy for that matter, in December and January. But just keep track on everything what has been following. What has been going on in standard, and watch out for the spoiler and all the articles and stuff. There's so small amount of content on the Abzan company. I think I've read it all, and I wish there would be more. And everybody has different opinions, and I normally don't like almost anybody's sideboard. I do like the sideboarding decisions most of the time people describe in those articles, but sometimes I do disagree indeed. So the only good method to actually figure it out is just to play yourself a shit ton of games and matchups and have a real feeling of it. So I'm on the play here. I think I sideboarded already. Just a bunch of removals, basically. I don't think I boarded anything else, really. Having your turn 1 land as Horizon Canopy definitely stinks a little bit, but what can you do? Most of the time I just die very quickly. Okay, I decided not to block this fetch because I guess I wanted to grab a Shockland with that. And I did kill a Mana Dork, I think, or a Nettle Sentinel. I'm not sure. I think it was Mana Dork. I don't think I would have killed the Nettle Sentinel with DK there. But killing the Mana Dork actually makes a lot of sense. Because let's say if I didn't, then this turn he would have displayed those two and then have 3 elves in play, so he could have used Heritage Druid to actually have 3 mana and cast an Arc Druid, for example, and that would be just very painful for me. Because I have a bird in play, I actually, you know, grab a Temple Garden end of turn, but untapped because I think I wanted to get rid of that Heritage Druid just now because I don't know, he could respond with a company needs 2 elves, and then he has 3 dorks, and then he can have 3 mana and stuff like this. So things could have been annoying. But I could have done that on his upkeep, I feel like. Yeah. Could have done that on his upkeep. I mean, the pathing thing. Because then he would basically still have 1 less mana. So that was a misplay. My turn 3 was just the kitchen things, but yeah, 2 combo pieces away. Kinda running low on cards. Yeah, he definitely has some collected company here. So something to watch out for. I'm kind of flooding here, I guess, so eating this canopy. Conveniently have this next land as a untapped Razorverse Thicket, but don't have much to cast here. I cast a Melarum, though, and attack with the kitchen things that he takes, because now I have Melaris, so things is not gonna have the minus counters. I think I still have a path in hand. He does go for end of turn company, and if I see something like Ezuri or Archdruid, I guess I'm pathing it, and then it's just a matter of finding this third piece. Of the combo. I think my second card in hand is another copy of the Horizon Canopy. So, yeah, damn. So he hits, I think, an Archdruid and an Ezuri. But Ezuri between these two is more dangerous, because it represents a lot more damage. Though, perhaps at this point it maybe should have been Archdruid, because he already had enough mana for Ezuri, but Archdruid can make all of this get really out of hand very quickly. I'm trying to think what I took out in this matchup. Some Witness, probably an Offenza, the big one, I mean the 3 mana one. Probably Spell's Kite, because he doesn't have white, so no paths or anything like that. If he would have had, maybe I would have kept the Spell's Kite, I'm not sure. Because his random paths, even with the white splash, so they're not really something I should play around normally in this matchup, I feel like. Yeah, it does let me block, but then he really spams the board real quick, and it's not gonna matter as a blocker version. So he has another Ezuri, and that is real scary. Because he still has Archdruid, well, that will net 4 mana. Okay, with a land and 2 of those mana dorks. I guess he played one of them this turn, so he has 1, 2, so 6 mana, so he can chord something out for a bunch here. I don't know. What's his plan? Maybe again company into another company. That will be pretty darn sick. But I don't think he can do that. Unless he hits like a Heritage Druid off of the company. I just cast the birds, and I think that's it. I think I did crack that second canopy and bricked. I have so many good draws here, but yeah, even after 2 copies of canopy, I still can't find anything. It's just depressing, really. And yeah, even just like a Maelstrom Pulse would have been good here. So what he ends up doing is cording out Elvish Champion, and I have Forest in play, so his guys are unblockable. Well, for the exception of the Elvish Champion, I guess, because I don't think it gives Forest Walk itself. I think the fixed wording is all overalls. But yeah, now he has a bunch of cool guys and they're unblockable and stuff like this. And it's gazillion damage, etc. And he can cord again for something crazy. Like, I don't know, even what at this point. Like an like a scavenger nose, I guess, in case things go wrong. But I think he would rather just tap out to boost his team twice with Ezuri and then attack. And I think that would have been enough. I don't know if he would have actually played this safely and have the cord mana up for the ooze and one activation of it. I don't think he would have played it that safe there. But yeah, good to know that even if I have drawn it, I mean the third piece of the combo, it wouldn't really have helped there. Yeah, I lost to this deck quite a few times, but it's not like this else deck is drawing like this all the freaking time. So even though it's been 3 games and all 3 times the draws have been very consistent and very aggressive, and he just gets everything, but there's still opportunities to miss, not exactly to fizzle, but to flip just mana dork some lands, for example. It is possible. It is possible. But yeah, without Azuris or Arc Druids, I can handle whatever he throws at me. Took a couple of damage from the tomb to cast Seer in turn 1. I'm not sure whether I side out any mana dorks. I don't think I did, and I probably don't think I should have, even if I did. Okay, let's land number 2. Just thinking what to crack it for. And just passing the turn because I'm not attacking, and seems like I don't have a good 2-drop here. Maybe I'm sitting on a DK, but I don't have that much removal, and I have to, you know, be cautious of all the dangerous free drops he has. So I can take 2 for now, and if he would have played something like Heritage Druid, I would have wanted to kill that. Now, even though I took damage from the attack, because of the trigger, and I don't want him to have too much board presence, because coupled with the Druids and Champs and Azuris, it all just snowballs, so it's better to contain this early, if possible. So I killed the Sentinel so he doesn't get a token from the Dwynen's Elite, or Elite, whatever way you call it. I think I do have a 3rd land here. Just thinking what to fetch here. My considerations are just having double whites for undefenses at some point soon enough. So my draws are actually not quite bad, even though he was on the draw, but Seer into Decay into things, that's quite alright, I suppose. It's hard to ask for more, but against that deck sometimes you need much more than that. So yeah, let's see what he's got. He's got Heritage and Llanowar, so he can get free mana there, and then spend to activate Nexus and get basically 4 green, I think. I think that's how the math is gonna end up. Well, technically, if he taps these 3, no, I guess he just running low here. It's finally, at some point, that must have happened. That he doesn't have a very sick turn in this match. I'm definitely cited in like 6 of the removal spells I had. I'm just thinking what I took out. I guess because he only has ooze and he doesn't have white splash. So yeah, finally one game he scoops because I have the combo and his company or whatever is not really cooperating with him. Finally, at some point it was bound to happen. Just so many nut draws from the Elves deck. Yeah, so I boarded out I think Spike Feeder and Archangel of Foon because I didn't think he would have much of hate for the combo. And with 6 removal and Fin Hunters that are tutorable, I think it was an okay call. But I did bring a Pride Mage, I don't know for what exactly. I don't think I should have. He could have had the Gravedigger's Cage, for example. I guess it was just insurance policy, because I don't think his sideboard is really that gunned up against me. But you never know. So in a vacuum, you're probably gonna bring Pride Mage because, well, he can't have Cage, but he could have Rest in Peace if it's unknown opponents. And then you see game 1 it's Elves, and then you see some Fetchies and Thickets and Horizon Canopies too. So yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, you would probably bring Pride Mage, but against his build, you don't really need it. Yeah, here you see my sideboard. He hasn't been sideboarding much because he doesn't have a lot. Just like extra ooze and stuff like that. I think the ooze is in the sideboard and I don't think it's main deck. You could put it main deck, especially now because of the Jund. I mean, because of the dredge, all the dredge decks. Don't remember. So that's quite a few cards I ended up actually bringing in, but it's fine to keep just one witness in this matchup. I feel like because his removals will be paths anyway, and then your stuff wouldn't really die that much. And yeah, one is enough just to buy back some removal or some companies or chords. And then take out big enough fences if you have it main, take out the plan B combo. That's already a lot of slots. You don't need Spell's Kite really, even if they have paths and stuff in the sideboard. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Well, except for maybe cutting some dorks, but not too many. I don't think you want to cut any chords or companies, because you need that push for fast combo. Yeah, maybe you can cut one of the 2 walls, for example. Something like that. That's probably what happens. Okay, I guess I'm gonna show it out here. Oh yeah, I took out the ooze because it's kind of slow. I was trying to push for a fast combo. And I took out Fin Hunter that I think is not exactly right. I should have taken something else out. Instead, I just thought that maybe like with 6 actual removal it could be enough, but having this from a company or chord would have been nice as well. So that's that was kinda clunky. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. There will be more modern versus matches coming out soon. Check out the previous couple of videos. There was one with Abzan as well, and one where I was playtesting with Dredge, and a couple more with Dredger. are coming out soon, and then I will be actually goofing around with some other card games, not just MtG. And yeah, leave a like, leave some feedback below in the comments, and let me know what kind of decks you would like to see, because I might as well like print out with color proxies something interesting. It's been a while that I've been playing with Band Flash, my brew from the past. You can see in the modern playlist. So let's see what I will find as a new pairing for that Band Flash deck. And until the next sale, goodbye, folks.